how can I get into Animal Crossing without you need some sort of system, right?
I think you can get it on your phone.
To play it. Yeah.
Well, I can.
You have to play it.
Okay. Hang on. We'll get into this. Are you ready? Did you figure out what the thing is?
I'll figure it out as we're going.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. Welcome to the Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast. Joining us today, a lover of all shows and movies that make you cry. It's producer Johna.
Hey guys, what's up? I miss you guys.
Fun fact. Fun fact
is I am trying to buy a chair for my bedroom, but I can't find it.
What kind of chair?
A chair just to sit in, obviously.
Joining us, she loves to game, and it appears she is sitting on a chair. It is.
I am.
Katie.
Hi. My fun fact is apparently my memory is crap because I was going to say something and then I forgot.
All right. We are the Kind of Nerdy Girls. You can find us on Twitter at Kind of Nerdy Girls, Instagram at Kind of Nerdy Girls, and on Facebook. You can join our group approaching 1,000 members as we speak. The Kinda Nerdy Network.
Hey, watch your mouth. This is a family show.
Yeah.
Are you not joking? Almost 1,000?
Johna, it's getting there. It's getting there. Every day I check and there's like more and more people. So
well, I invited like 3 people in who accepted. So
well, thank you. Yes, please invite people into our Kind of Nerdy Network. We do.
Who would I invite?
Eric's not in it. You could invite your fiance.
Does Eric even get on Facebook?
Sometimes. Not really.
So no.
You could invite your mother.
My mom would post on everything.
What's your mom kind of nerdy about?
Monk.
Oh, okay.
I love that show. Oh my God. I love that show.
It's her favorite.
I love Tony Shalhoub. He's the best.
I have never gotten into Monk.
It's so good.
My mom owns every season.
Does she on DVD?
Yes. Yep.
I need to hang out with Amy.
Does she still watch everything on DVD?
No, we bought them for her and some of them are still in the plastic. She used to sit down every day and watch USA Today because it was a Monk marathon pretty much every day forever. Mm-hmm. We would buy the DVDs and she'd never touch them.
Huh. All right.
Show ended, haven't watched it since.
Pretty sure Monk comes on Hallmark now too.
Oh, that's why you love it. Anything on Hallmark is Johna's jam.
That's not necessarily true. I love Zoe's Playlist and that's on NBC.
Well, I didn't say you only watch the Hallmark Network, but if it's on Hallmark, you watch it. That's why you got into Magnum PI. It's not like you saw it, like you went scouring the internet to find Magnum PI so you could start watching Tom Selleck from the 70s.
Well, I was scrolling through and I just so happened to see that Magnum PI was on and it just so happened to be on the Hallmark channel.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I never scroll past the Hallmark channel. Never. No, doesn't happen.
I go there first, actually. First place I go. Actually, right now that we're podcasting, we're like really cutting off my diagnosis murder time. So. Oh
dear. Okay, well, let's get to it. Breaking news. New segment to the Kind of Nerdy Girls. It's kinda Chris Evans update. Breaking news of all of the things that Chris Evans is good at. We have found something he fails at, and that is dog grooming.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, I'd
poor
probably be
Dodger.
bad at it, too.
Poor Dodger.
So poor Dodger, his rescue pup, they've been in isolation long enough that Chris must have got to the point. You have to wonder, like, how many times did he think, maybe I should do that? And then, no, he'll be fine. We'll wait for the groomer.
We thought the same thing. We caved and went to PetSmart.
Did you?
Oh, Chris.
Yep. I didn't know.
I love him for trying, though.
But you could go back to PetSmart because they just started the rules where you can get grooming again. I don't think that it doesn't sound like Chris is in a place where the groomers are back at it, or he wouldn't have butchered Dodger the way that he did.
I mean, did you see? He was like, I told him that it looks good. Like he's just lying to his dog. He's like, yeah, I told him he looks great. Like, also, breaking news: Chris Evans now has an Instagram.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I'm so excited.
Johna, how many followers did he have when you found it? You were one of the
like
first.
1 million, I think.
No, there's no way, because when you told me about it, he had like
800. I would say. It was like
a
few 100,000. And then like the next day he was at like 2 million or something like that.
Yeah, because he tweeted it, and then you tweeted it, and then I tweeted it, and then I went to Instagram and I'm like, that guy has 800,000 followers and he just joined like 5 minutes ago.
He now has 2.9 million right now.
Oh my gosh.
And he has two posts, and he has 2.9 million followers.
Well, I mean, he only joined because of that all-in challenge. I mean, that's great. He joined Instagram because he wanted to be part of this charity challenge.
Poor puppy.
All in.
Did he? Oh, he posted that on Instagram too?
Yes.
Poor Dodger.
Poor guy. Also, Chris Evans. Defending Jacob is getting really good.
This is a lot of Chris Evans talk.
Well, KJ brought him up first, and there's just a lot going on with him because he's him, so.
It's a new segment on our show. The Chris Evans update.
He's always doing something.
He is. I have not caved to getting Apple TV yet.
I told you could use mine.
I know, but here's the thing.
Don't tell Apple that.
I don't have time right now because I'm watching Ozark. We're going to talk about that a little bit, Johna, because I know that you're watching it too.
Yes.
I'm trying to fit in Prodigal Son where I can because that has gotten really good.
Watch Prodigal Son before you watch Ozark. That's all I'm gonna say.
Really?
I would rather you watch Prodigal Son and finish it.
Well, I hope Kevin L. Johnson isn't listening to this podcast.
I'm sorry, Kevin, but there's 3 seasons of Ozark and 1 season of Prodigal Son.
Kevin plays Sam on Ozark, and if you go back a couple of episodes, you can hear him. He hung out for an entire episode of the Kind of Nerdy Girls. So now, have you guys ever done this? I've gotten to the point with any show. I've gotten to the point with Schitt's Creek where I'm on the last season. So now I'm going really, really slow, like stretching.
You're trying to relish it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, this is the last season. No, I don't want to watch it tonight.
See, I get to the point where like, oh, there's a couple episodes left. I'll save it for later. And then I never come back.
Do you remember, Johna, how I did that with Lucifer too?
Yeah.
I told Johna to watch Lucifer, and I was like, I had 6 episodes left when I told you to start watching it. And Johna finished it all. And it was like 3 months later, and I still wasn't done with those last 6 episodes because I wanted to cherish it.
Like when I start binging something, like I have to go until the end. Like I have to.
I do until the very last part. And then I go, vroom, vroom, vroom. I'm like the Indy 500.
Not anymore.
And then the last lap.
Until August.
And then the last lap, I'm like, chugga, 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 chugga. Like I slow way down. I run out of gas.
It's all on Netflix or Hulu or something. You can always go back and rewatch it.
I know, it's just not the same once it's done. It's not the same.
Once your heart is shattered into a million pieces because the show that you love so much will never be on the air ever again. Yes. Been there.
Yes. So speaking of that, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, we have no idea if it's coming back, which is miserable.
I need it to come back. It has to. If it doesn't come back, I am going to riot.
I have watched every week. I've watched the episode that comes out, right? Because they're coming out once a week because it's on NBC. And this Sunday was the finale. Not watching it.
Man, who?
I can't. I know. It's gonna rip my heart into pieces, isn't it, Johna?
Yes, it is. And like on Sunday, like everybody was tweeting about it, and I was like, well, I guess I can't be on Twitter because I can't see what happens.
Yeah.
But like, oh god, just cried for like probably a solid 30 minutes after it was over.
Is the music in this episode, does it break you as well? Like, are the songs sort of tied into the sadness that is what there's a storyline with her father? I don't think that it's not really a spoiler because you find out immediately in the first episode when you're watching it that her dad has a disorder, a genetic disorder that is right. It's some sort of degenerative disorder, and so they know that they don't have a lot of time with him. So
how good is Peter Gallagher?
He's so great. He's so
good.
What a challenging role to play. And all right, so I haven't watched the last episode, but I can tell from the tweets that I need to get myself in the right place to go watch that.
I'll tell you what, like the very last scene of the show, which I heard was actually shot all in one shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But like the song that they sing, it's not a song that you're like, oh my God, like rip my heart out. But the way that it's sung and the way that it's shot is beautiful. Like just cry. As soon as they started singing that song, I was like, okay, this is a weird song for you to be singing. And then by the time it was over, I'm just like in a ball. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even believe this is happening right now. What is going on? It's so good. And Jane Levy, amazing. Love her.
I was just thinking, as you know, we've been watching these episodes, how hard it must be. Like, we interviewed her a month ago. She was on the Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast, and she knew all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to, you know, if we have the chance to talk to her again, or maybe this is like a question that we ask the next actor that's on the show. Do you go back and like see where it is in the show so that you don't spoil it? Like, when you know everything, how do you sit there and talk to people who don't? Yeah. I mean, that's not even an acting skill. You have to remember exactly where everybody else is.
I mean, when she talks to us, like, she did a really good job of just like talking about the episode that was going to be airing.
Yeah.
She's no Tom Holland, you know, she's not going to.
Oh, God love Tom Holland and his his adorable spoilery ways.
Yes. But everyone in that episode just did such an amazing job. There was so much emotion. I was like, damn, somebody give everyone in this cast an Oscar. I don't care. And the guy who plays her brother, don't know his name at all.
Yes.
Such an amazing job. Love him. Such a good job.
All right. So moving on to, this is a segment we should probably do more often, because I know that especially Johna is big into reading, but we've got a couple of topics that come from the literary world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a book update. Woo, the Kind of Nerdy Book Club. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay. Love books.
What are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? Nothing. Well, I started something. It's like a book that's in my backpack, and I can't tell you what it's called.
That is just so representative of us trying to do something different. I do a huge announcement for a new segment, and Katie says, "What are you reading right now?" And you say nothing.
Well, I'm reading a book.
It's the end of the book club.
Well,
Thanks for joining us.
In the middle of like 35 different books. So,
okay.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I'm reading a book.
What are you reading, Katie?
Unorthodox, because I watched the series on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about it. So do you find when you watch a TV show and then go to the book, do you compare it like we compare it when we go from the book to the movie?
A little. I like to find where the show usually picks up, and it's never like the first page. So there's still like a couple of chapters worth of like catch up at the beginning before you actually get into what's familiar. So I like that.
Right on. Okay. Well, my book stuff isn't about actually reading.
Is it listening?
It is listening, because Daniel Radcliffe is reading Harry Potter to us.
It's really
my
good.
chance, huh?
This is your chance. Have them read it for you.
Johna, you can listen to the Harry Potter read you the
Harry Potter.
I love his thumbnails. He just looks like such an old man with his beard, but he's so happy. He's such a happy.
The first chapter is 25 minutes, so reasonable.
Wow. Yeah, totally reasonable. And then other actors it's gonna go chapter by chapter as other people from the Harry Potter world, kind of like how we used to in class. Like, everybody went around and read a paragraph.
Popcorn.
Yep. So Eddie Redmayne is doing one of the chapters.
That guy.
Katie, what is that face about?
He's cute. I like him.
He is cute.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be.
Don't like his movies. I think he's cute.
You think he's hot, Johna?
I do not.
Oh,
Pass.
I thought that's what you said.
No, he is not.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you go to wizardingworld.com, you can hear Daniel Radcliffe read you the first chapter of Harry Potter, and we're going to get more and more. And I mean, I know they're doing the first book, but I'm curious to see, like, are they going to just go ahead and do all of the books? Like,
why not, right?
If we're going to be,
how long are we going to be in quarantine?
Except for Cursed Child. Don't read that one.
that was hard to read because it wasn't really a book. It was a screenplay.
And it was trash.
Screenplays are hard to read.
What didn't you like about Cursed Child?
It just seemed very, like, not related. I don't know how to describe it other than, like, you know, you have 7 books that build this whole world or whatever, and then you go to this, and it feels like it's not connected at all. It doesn't feel familiar the same way, like, oh, I put down book 1, I pick up book 2, you know, characters are similar, setting is similar, story kind of stuff is similar. It had no familiarity.
I've heard if you see it, it feels more like Harry Potter. I did not
say that about Cats too, and that was also bad.
Good Lord. No one ever said anything nice about seeing Cats, the movie.
That's true.
I rented it on Redbox, but I was too afraid to watch it. So we watched Sonic instead.
Oh, how was Sonic? I thought that you weren't going to watch it.
Really good.
Was it? Really?
What?
He's so cute. Oh.
Really? Because
so
you don't really like Sonic.
No, Sonic's okay at best.
Okay.
What I really worry about is video game movies, because I don't think they do them well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of little stuff that doesn't translate well. Like, I think books translate to movies pretty well. They don't really translate well to TV shows. Same with video games. They don't really transfer to movies well, like the Assassin's Creed movie. Not good.
There's a Mortal Kombat movie coming out.
Yeah, there is a Mortal Kombat movie coming out. Maybe.
Like a new one. Like, I know they made one, but there's a new one coming out.
We'll see.
She doesn't want to talk about that. Back to Sonic. It's not often
Sonic
that Katie tells us things are good.
What I liked about it was that it was funny, but it wasn't too much. You know, it was a pretty good story on its own. They used the video game elements, like the rings, and they explain them. And it actually kind of makes sense for the movie and stuff like that, instead of just throwing references at you and hope you get them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Jim Carrey was fantastic.
When is he not?
I know. It was so good.
And
I'm really glad they redesigned the hedgehog, because I would not be able to sit through 2 hours of the first version of that hedgehog.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about the redesign of the redesign. Because there was, like, you say Sonic and people get the idea of what Sonic looks like in their head, right? And then there was the first trailer and everyone went, no!
And I think it says something that they took it back. They're like, oh, you know what? We're going to take criticism and we're going to fix it and change it and stuff like that.
I wonder how much it cost for them to go back.
Probably so much, but I feel like they made it back because it was relatively successful.
Yeah.
So I think it was worth it to listen to your client base here.
Yeah, we just bullied the company into, we're like, we don't like this, change it right now. And then they were like, oh, okay. And they were like, no, change it right now. And they're like, I mean, okay, I guess we'll change it. Like, it's, you know, whatever.
Isn't that like the basis of the customer's always right? Like the customer knows what they want.
Yes, but that wasn't always true. If it was true, we would have had like 8 seasons of Firefly instead of 1.
I don't.
Did we? No.
I don't have anything to say about that.
Well, that's because at the time when Firefly came out, social media wasn't the big, we weren't as connected. It wasn't, there wasn't this, small world where everybody could just kind of gather and raise their voices and say, that is not what we want, or this is what we want. You had to, write a studio or fill out a petition.
Rely on a test group.
Okay.
Right? And you had to walk, 5 miles uphill both way to do it.
In the snow.
In the snow.
God, I just sounded so old there.
That, if we're going to have this argument about social media and Firefly, you have to also think about the shows that actually did go on for like 8 seasons, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and, Angel. Like when social media wasn't big, those shows were still relatively successful because they went on for so long.
Do you know
viewership?
Do you know the story of Firefly, though? They aired it out of order on purpose so that it would get canceled.
Wow.
They decided they didn't want to, but they were committed to it. So they buried it on Friday nights and aired it out of order and didn't even air all of the episodes.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to butcher a show, that's the way to do it. But I feel like...
I mean, they did, and even when they did that, because it's not like any of us had on demand. We're like, it's fine. It's Joss Whedon. We love him. If they're going to put it on Friday nights, we're going to sit home on Friday nights. Not like we go anywhere because we're nerds. But we're going to sit home on Friday nights and we're going to watch this. And the first episode aired and you're like, I feel like this is kind of in the middle of something. Like we missed something. And then it continued on and fans caught on that like, okay, like that episode seemed to have been before that episode. And they just kept trying to tank it. And fans kept loving it, even though we weren't getting the story the way it was supposed to be told. So that's why it did end up, the fans were able to get a movie out of it. But I wonder if Firefly had happened in the world that we live in now, where a Netflix could have come in and saved it, it maybe would have had 7 or 8 seasons. But that's, that's just me and my Firefly world, and I'll always be sad. What do you guys have?
Well, we were talking about books.
And then you're not even reading any books.
We were very sad because of Firefly all of a sudden. So
how did we get from Harry Potter to
because you
Firefly?
were talking about Harry Potter reading us books or whatever.
Oh yeah, Harry Potter. So wizardingworld.com is where you can see celebrities from the Harry Potter world reading the Harry Potter books. And then our other big news, I want to let Johna announce because she was so excited about it. She was watching the countdown, this mysterious thing that was going to happen. Was it the thing you were expecting? And please announce it to everyone.
Yeah, it was, because everyone thought that it was going to be a new book release, and it is. Stephenie Meyer, a.k.a. author of Twilight. Stop it right now.
I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
She is releasing a new book.
Ew.
In the Twilight series called Midnight Sun on August 4th.
I don't go out on a limb and say books are stupid right off the bat. Stupid.
Wow.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
And from Edward's perspective.
You are milking that series.
Okay, so
10 years later?
Yeah. Okay, Katie, I'm gonna let you hang on to that point because, and you may know this, but just in case you're listening and you don't know the whole story, this book, and it's Midnight Sun.
Midnight Sun
was written when Twilight was big. She was writing this perspective of the entire Twilight world from Edward's perspective. So you have Bella, you have Edward. We got to see the Twilight world through Bella's eyes. This is now seeing it through Edward's. It was not finished, and a big portion of it got leaked. And she was so upset about it that she refused to finish the project.
When?
Now, fast forward, what'd you say, Kate?
When?
8 years? And none of us can go anywhere and have anything to do. And all of a sudden she's like, I'm not so bitter about that anymore. I think I'll go ahead and put it out.
Tell George R.R. Martin to finish his books.
Now, Johna, when it got leaked, when that portion of Midnight Sun got leaked, did you go read that leaked copy?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't hear about it getting leaked because I definitely would have tried to go and read it, not gonna lie.
You didn't know? You didn't know this drama? This is why this thing has been around forever. But she was like, I don't know, devastated, angry, like 1,000.
I would have been mad too. I mean, like, it's something that you're like putting like all your blood, sweat, and tears into, and then some dick's just like, oh, you know what? Let's leak half of your book. No, like,
yeah.
What kind of
theoretically, you could play it to your advantage, where if it's half the book that's not the ending, you can use it as a promo for your book coming up if it's good enough.
But it also, it wasn't the finished product. Like, it was the rough draft. And I mean, I'm not defending her, because at the time I was reading the books and I was like, I would rather have Edward's perspective. Can we please get that? And she said,
I would
no.
so much rather have Edward's perspective. Don't get me wrong, I loved those books. Like, loved that whole entire series, but Bella was just exhausting.
Awful. Yeah.
She was the worst part of the whole thing. I was like, God, can we get Alice to, like,
literally anyone else?
Literally anybody's perspective.
Here's why I don't like that book series.
Okay.
I've thought about it, and I've come to a conclusion.
We appreciate you're not jumping to a conclusion.
I know.
About
I've thought
Twilight.
about it.
Okay.
So, when the books came out, it was a big deal. Everybody was reading them. I gave them a chance. I read every word on every page of every book.
You did?
And I hated it. I read every single book and I watched every single movie and I hated it. Here's why. I did not like her writing style at all. I didn't like that. I was sad, so I cried. And then he came over and then he looked at me and said I smelled awful. And then he glared at me and walked away, and I love him. I didn't like it. It, like, the way it just sounded when I was reading it on the page, it felt like it was the inner monologue of a teenager, which is, I guess, what she was.
It was.
Or whatever.
It was.
I hated it. And when I read it, I was in high school, so I was about the age she was supposed to be, and I thought she was so dumb and so, like, didn't get the point and whatever, and I thought all the characters were incredibly flat and, like, boring, and you knew where everything was going to go.
Woo.
By the time I got to the end of the last book, I was like, thank God this is over. And then my friend made me watch the movies, and they were worse.
Oh, yeah, the movies were rough. But I just can't believe that you would go through the entire thing. Like,
You read it until you read it.
That's a lot of pages to hate read.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
But
that's a lot of energy.
Most of those books you can fly through in an afternoon. They're thick, but it's simple reading.
Oh, yeah.
I finished the first Twilight book in like a day.
Exactly. Like, they're quick reads.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been something that I would have gotten into, but my youngest sister she was right at the Twilight age, and we lived apart, and they were a big part of her life, and she kept, like, wanting to talk to me about them. So I was like, okay, I'll read. It was the same reason that I got into Harry Potter, was because she was reading them, and I wanted to, see what she was so excited about. And so I trusted her and was like, well, she got me into Harry Potter, so let's do Twilight. And then I was like, ooh, this is a little bit tougher to read than Harry Potter.
A lot tougher. And I felt like it was just very, I don't know how to describe it. Cash grab is not the word. It felt like one of those books where it's like, oh, achieve your dreams, and you open the page and it's a blank page and it says, write what your dreams are. Like, that's what I thought it felt like as a book. Like, it was just blank. Like, it didn't do anything, and she didn't accomplish anything other than whine for 3 books.
Yeah, but I think that, like, if it had been any other character's perspective, I think the world she created was interesting. There were ancillary characters that were interesting. It was just that.
How do you mess up vampires? How?
You can.
She did.
People have messed up vampires before.
Listen, throughout history, I'm sure.
Did you see the Buffy movie?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you mess up vampires and werewolves at the same time?
Well, I don't know that she.
How do you do that to Shark Boy?
I don't know that she messed up vampires and werewolves.
They glittered in the sun.
They were,
and he was an emo kid, and he's like, oh, I can't be with you because you're a human, so you're going to throw yourself off a cliff, and I'm going to go bask in the sun.
What?
I don't know that that's how it went.
Beginning of the second book.
I feel like you're mixing.
And then she, like, hops on a plane and flies over there, and she's like, don't kill yourself, Edward, I love you. And it was lame. And then they're back together. Over. So, like, by the end of the book, it's got a neat little bow on it, which is not the way that works out at all. And then by the 3rd book, the werewolf guy's like, oh, I love you, and, be with me and not him, because he's dead and weird.
He loved her in the 1st book, okay?
Yes.
Not really
Loved
by
her
the
in
end
the
of the
first
fourth
book.
book.
Okay, but listen, all the things that you're mad about, and you have not
Stupid writing.
You have not brought up the fact that the guy that was the werewolf ended up loving her because she was going to make a baby that he was going to fall in love with.
Stupid.
Like, that's when I was
Incredibly stupid.
I am out.
Okay, I'll give y'all that one. Okay, that one was weird.
And like every line of the movie, when they uttered a phrase from the book that was supposed to be like a hallmark of the phrase, like, you named my child after the Loch Ness Monster, it grates on your ears. It's so bad. The writing is bad. Like, I'm sorry if you like this book, but I don't.
So
I gave it a chance and I didn't like it.
Johna, when is Midnight Sun coming out?
Hopefully
4th.
never.
August what?
August 4th.
August 4th. Okay, Katie, we're not gonna be the friends who make you read it and see the movie. We won't do that to you. You've got better friends now.
Thank God.
Johna, we're not gonna make her do it.
Joking me? Y'all made me watch Harry Potter.
You watch one Harry Potter.
We didn't even make you read the book.
What do you mean?
I sat through 5 crappy movies.
Okay, I propose a deal, Johna. I propose a deal.
Oh,
we
God.
will not make Katie read Midnight Sun or see the movie as long as she doesn't make us see Venom 2.
I will be going to see that by myself.
Good.
Okay, first of all, we all know Venom 2 is never going to get made because of coronavirus. So.
I know.
So who's the real winner here? I mean,
it'll get made, don't you think? It's not. You don't think it's going to get made?
No. It's first of all, it was.
Isn't it mostly made?
It was a terrible movie anyway. They don't need a sequel.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you on that, but I just think it's made it far enough into the progress of being made that it's going to be made.
Isn't it in post-production?
Is it in post-production?
I thought so.
I feel like there have been like pictures from the set, and haven't we heard some leaked stuff about possibly like Tom Holland is in it somehow? And
oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Well, you think? I mean,
think in like everything right now.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Johna, of course, with Sony having that relationship that they own Spider-Man, of course, as big as Spider-Man's gotten, and as crappy of a movie as Venom is, if you're going to make a second one, you're going to need Spider-Man to get people to go see it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It looks like it's supposed to still come out on June 25th.
Of this year?
Yeah. No, 2021. Sorry, can't read.
Oh, 2021. I was like, damn, that was fast. That movie just came out like last year.
Delayed from October 2020.
Oh, no.
Due to COVID.
Oh, delayed.
So it's still happening.
The replay.
I was excited to hear, the movie world is kind of bleak right now because, I mean, even when theaters open up, people aren't really going to want to go, and they're figuring out how are we going to go to a theater with social distancing. But
and I do now.
There's a couple of things being made for Netflix that we're going to get Steve Carell's new series, Space Force, which is hitting Netflix May 29th. Have you seen the previews for this?
No.
Katie, it is a spoof of Trump's Space Force. They made a series out of Trump's announcement that we need to have Space Force.
About that.
And it's Steve Carell, Jane Lynch is in it, John Malkovich, Lisa Kudrow. Like, it's a huge cast. The trailer for it is in the Kind of Nerdy Network Facebook page. It is it's a role meant for Steve Carell, because like he's the military guy who's been waiting for his moment to like own something and take it over and make his mark, and they put him on Space Force.
Steve Carell look? Does he have a beard still?
No, he doesn't have a beard. I want to say he's a little scruffy, and he's still got the like salt and pepper thing going, which is a good look for him. Yeah. Now he looks good. I know you like the beards. I prefer not the beards, but yeah, he looked good, and it really looks funny. And it's done, and it's ready to hit Netflix May 29th. So that's something new that's coming this month. Woo!
Yay.
Yes. And then
another new thing.
Yes.
On Hulu, I saw a trailer for it, so I haven't watched anything else about it. It's about Catherine the Great. It's like a drama series. Yeah. It's got that guy from Warm Bodies, the really bad zombie movie.
Nope.
He was also Beast in the new X-Men, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about Captain the Great. It's on Hulu starting on the 15th of May.
Ooh, do you know what it's called?
The Great?
The Great?
The Great?
Are you making things up?
No, I swear it's real.
This is the problem with Katie. We never know when she's making things up.
Oh,
It's
yep,
called-
it's The Great.
It is The Great. Okay.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
I
that sounds
see. How
well,
fancy.
that sounds great. Yeah, I was looking for like, is there anything movie-wise other than delay? This is getting pushed back. There really isn't much. I saw Keanu Reeves. There's rumors that he's kind of being pulled in both directions from DC and Marvel.
He's also in the new SpongeBob movie.
Is he in SpongeBob?
Yeah, he's Sage, the what's it called? Tumbleweed.
Oh, that's a good role for him.
Man.
But there's rumors that DC wants him for Constantine and to continue that. But Marvel is rumored to be looking at casting him as Ghost Rider in the MCU.
Like Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider?
Yes. Meanwhile, Nicolas Cage has been cast as what's his name?
Joe Exotic.
I was gonna say Joe Dirt.
That's David Spade.
Similar.
Nicolas Cage has been cast as Joe Exotic in the Tiger King, I guess, series. So now are they just gonna like act out what you just saw in the documentary?
Maybe.
I don't understand why we need a series if that documentary was so like real already. Like, what else are you going to get from that?
It's
Comedy, I hope. Yeah, that too.
What's that?
It's a money grab.
It has to be. And
It's
now,
like, oh, Tiger King's so popular. Oh, yes, let's do this. And it's probably going to be trash.
Oh, you know it. I mean, it's quickly rushed together, and it's about something that in 8 episodes they already covered beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're probably going to have to pay Nicolas Cage. Like half their budget is probably paying Nicolas Cage to do it. Honestly.
Yeah, like
you think
most
so?
of it.
Yeah.
Does he pull a pretty penny now?
I would
I think so.
Does he?
Yeah.
What was the last thing he did that was like really big?
Let's look.
Because I'm thinking National Treasure.
I loved National Treasure.
Oh, good.
That's on Disney Plus. It's I have watched it several times because I'm like, I can't not watch it. Like if it's on just on TV, it's one of those movies that we're like, yep, here we go.
He was in the
National
Croods.
Treasure was in 2004.
Okay, what's he done since National Treasure?
He was in the Croods. He was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He was in Teen Titans Go.
He was in Knowing.
So he's been doing a lot of voice work.
Yeah.
What character was he in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Peter Parker / Spider-Man Noir.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that was him.
He was also in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either, but
That seems like something I should see. I did not.
he's in a lot of action. He's either in like an action film or like a super sappy film.
Look, you guys aren't making a big case for his career since National Treasure.
Also Joe Exotic.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Nick Cage. I don't have anything bad to say about
I'm gonna
him.
tell y'all how much Nicolas Cage is worth.
Oh, what do you
Okay.
think?
Honestly,
Take a guess.
a few mil.
I'm going to
A
say
female?
27 mil.
Wow.
Those National Treasure movies made a lot, and he did a lot of stuff.
$1 million is what he's worth.
25?
25.
I said 27.
You
Why is
did.
it so much
Really
lower
cool.
than I thought it would be?
I think you have a lot of faith in Nicolas Cage.
Not that that's a bad thing.
He hasn't made like a lot of he's made some good movies, but like most of his movies are just like okay.
All right. It's time for Katie's gaming update.
Okay.
Yay! So excited.
Just a couple of hours ago, they dropped the trailer for The Last of Us 2. I don't expect you to know what The Last of Us was, but it was a fantastic game. One of my favorites. So there's another one on the way. It's supposed to come out June-ish.
Okay.
We'll see. But kind of a short little summary of the first one. There's this, it's like a fungus. It's a real thing in real life. It's called the cordyceps thing. But they made it into the game. It turns you into zombies. So it's a zombie game, right? So then there's this guy. He's like grumpy, old, stereotype dad. And then the secondary character is like a 12-year-old girl. And apparently she's immune to this thing that turns you into zombies. So he has to take her to go like make a cure or whatever. And then since the game's been out for years, I'm going to spoil it for you.
Oh, how dare you?
I know, right? Because you're going to play it. So then it comes down to the choice where like they have to kill her to make a vaccine to save everybody else. And he chooses not to do it and saves her instead. Right?
Ooh.
I know. Big emotional draw right at the end of the game. Very post-apocalyptic, very well done game. Absolutely beautiful. Loved the mechanics. Because like some of the zombies, like there's different kinds. One of them uses echolocation to find you. So
Can you
like
explain something to me?
Sure.
In this game, Johna, I'm not being a jerk here.
I know, but it's just
Can you explain something to me?
So when you're saying in this game, like he made this choice, what are you doing in the game when this guy is choosing?
You play as him.
So you make the choice? So you
it's
do
not
this?
a choice. So the game doesn't prompt you to make a choice whether to let her die or live. You will save her. That's the choice that the character makes.
Okay.
So it's not a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Okay.
Even though I would save her anyway because she was great. And like you become really attached and like he replaces her dead daughter who got gunned down in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Whoa.
Very emotional.
Okay.
But you play as him, and then in the second game, you play as her, and it's been a couple years, and she's grown up. So now there's a trailer out for that, and it's going to be really good.
All right. So the trailer is out. Have they said when the game is going to be out?
I thought it was like June 19th.
Oh,
It's
so that.
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your sister. Tell her to play the Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. It's such a good game. It's so good. I cried playing it. I love a game that like, you know, is a really good story. And
I didn't know that you cried.
Oh, all the time.
Katie cries all the time. What do you
All
mean?
the time.
I mean, I've seen you cry a couple times, legitimate like things that, you know, we worked through.
Life
No, I
Life
just cry all
things.
the time. Sometimes you just got to let it out. It's healthy.
Who cries more, Johna or Katie?
It's a toss-up.
Is
That
it
is a
really?
It's a toss-up.
I guess, Johna, you just talk more about your sobbing. Katie keeps
Yes.
it in.
I cry in the privacy of my own home.
The therapist tells me that I should be more open to make better relationships.
John, I ever tell you how I ghosted my counselor?
Yeah.
You're not in. Didn't you guys have the same counselor?
No, we went to the same office.
Okay.
Counselors, but the same office. And Katie just ghosted her counselor. Like she made an appointment, and then she was just like, "Oh, I'll push it back."
I pushed it back for 6 months.
Then they just stopped calling her.
Yep,
Like, "You
just
know
stopped
what?"
going.
Well,
So I hit the point where I was like, all right, I've done what I came here to do. I'm done.
but why didn't you say that?
I did. And then she's like, let's keep meeting. And I was like, ghost.
It is
She's
hard.
like, it's healthy to have a counselor and stuff like that. And that is like the most uncomfortable relationship to end. I don't need you anymore.
Well, if I could, Katie, impart a little bit of wisdom upon you.
Don't ghost your counselor.
Well, here's the thing that I have learned, because I have done this multiple times, is that there's going to be a point where you need a counselor again. And so hang on to the one you've got, because it's a pain in the ass to start over and be like,
I kept her business card. Don't worry.
So like, you should just be cool with her and say, I'm okay right now. I'll schedule a check-in once in a while if I need it.
Nah.
That's what you do.
Here's how I dealt with that problem. I just stopped going.
But then it's going to be awkward. You can't go back to her or him or whoever when you've ghosted them.
I will. It'd be like years later. Sorry, I got busy.
Sorry, I took a nap.
I forgot. I read your text and then I forgot to respond.
Sorry, I rescheduled that appointment over and over for 6 months and wasted your time.
I didn't. I did it as soon as the schedules were like posted so that I would never waste anybody's time. And I kept trying to cancel, but I was like awkward about it and they weren't like getting the hint.
It is weird. It is weird. It's hard to break up with a counselor. It's hard to break up with a dentist. It's hard to break up with a hairstylist. My hairstylist is retiring, which is devastating me She's like, she was not retiring before the virus. And so I had a hair appointment, but 3 days, like I just missed the cutoff. It was like 3 days after we went into shutdown was when my hair appointment was. So I have not had a hair appointment in a very long time. And I am spray painting my hair right now.
You and everybody else.
And so then, we're here in Indiana. So there's some reintroduction going on into society. And one of them was like, I think it's May 11th, that with precautions, some of the salons can start taking appointments again. So I text her and I was like, hey,
miss you.
Now that we have the all clear. Yeah, miss you. My hair's a wreck. Well, what are we going to do about this? And she responded, oh, I retired. I sent your information to a different salon. You can just call them. And I was like, what?
You didn't even think to tell you?
She said I've been okay, and know that my hairstylist I would consider like a friend, like not just my hairstylist friend, but like right. We went to a Britney Spears concert together. Okay.
Oh, you guys were close.
That's friendship. We've hung out before, like different times, but I know she's had a lot going on. So I know that she has been meaning to text me, but then it was like, she's been doing my hair for 20 years.
Not anymore.
It's like, this is how you break up with me? Like,
I thought we were good together. What did I do wrong?
It's not you, it's me.
And then I'm like, what if I don't like this person you referred me to? I don't want to just be pawned off on somebody. Like, hi, I'm the leftover
redhead. Then you have to like form
redhead.
that whole relationship again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want to. So now I don't know maybe I'll just spray paint my hair for the rest of my life.
You could.
I'll cut it with my own scissors. I'll ask Chris Evans to groom me.
I think he has the right kind of scissors. He might end up bald.
Another topic while we're in the gaming realm is Animal Crossing New Horizons. In our Katie's playing it right now, which is why sometimes she's a little delayed in responding to us, but sometimes she just doesn't show up for the podcast because she's gaming. So this is
I don't do the Zoom nights.
In our last episode with everybody where we had Alana King, which by the way, the book that she wrote a chapter in is out. There'll be peace when you are done. Supernatural book. Find it on Amazon. It's amazing. We're so proud of her. She's published now. But her graduation is coming up, so she should have been graduating from college. And we had discussed since she's got a cap and gown in Animal Crossing, could we all go to her like little island and have a graduation party for her?
As long as she invites us.
But how do I get invited? Because I'm not playing. So how do I start playing? For someone who's sitting in a house I have a laptop, an Xbox 360, and a PlayStation 2. How do I play Animal Crossing New Horizons?
You go to Amazon.
Okay.
You purchase a Nintendo Switch and Animal Crossing New Horizons. You also purchase a Nintendo membership. It's like $5 a month. You build your character. You build your island a little bit.
Okay, we have to go back to how I'm not going to buy a Switch.
Then you can't do it.
You can only play this game on the Switch?
Yeah.
You can't even play it on
No, it's a Nintendo thing.
Right, but there's no other.
And Nintendo is the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch.
I still have the 64.
Nope, that's Xbox. Microsoft, different company.
Nope, okay, Nintendo. I have a Nintendo something.
Was it a DS? Because that's out of date.
It's before that. The cartridge that you would stick in to play Mario Brothers, the original.
Game Boy Color?
No, maybe it's
Game Boy Advance.
It wasn't a game. It was before Game Boy. It was just a Nintendo.
So 64?
Yeah, that's what I said. I have a 64.
Yeah. Okay. So no, little out of date.
Okay. All right. All right. How much is a Nintendo Switch going to run me?
Oh gosh, what is it right now?
Let me tell you what. Me and my niece's birthday was the other day, and she wanted a Switch because she had bought Animal Crossing, but she hadn't gotten a Switch yet. Yeah, I know. And so we went to Target the other day, and they had a Switch Lite,
It's the kind that doesn't come apart.
Yeah, which is great because she has 2 brothers and they each have their own Switches that come apart. I was like, now you don't have to share. So she doesn't have to share her Switch. So we bought her a Switch Lite and that thing costs $200.
Yep, $200.
So $213 and some change with tax.
Can you rent a Switch?
No.
You rent a Switch? That would be a good business.
Right? I just want
Rent a gaming system.
I bet the game truck has one.
I just want to play once in a while. I just want.
And then you have to buy a $60 game, and then you have to buy a $5 monthly membership.
Will you guys have a nice party for Alana in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I'll get her a gift?
In real life?
Yeah, I'll get her the real gift. You guys go to her party. Johna, you can't. Well, could you borrow one of your nephew's Switches?
I can probably borrow my niece's. She's the one who actually has Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to figure this out. We got to have some sort of party in Animal Crossing, and I got to find a way to get there. But it's probably not.
I gotta find a way to get there. Don't they have Animal Crossing for like your phone or something?
Pocket Camp.
But it's not the same. It's not New Horizons. Like you can't cross over. Even I know that, Johna.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
All right. Anything else in the gaming world that we should know about, Katie?
That's kind of what I've been doing, and I'm excited for right now.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Johna.
Come on down.
Wow. What's got Johna weeping? Wah, wah, wah. Have you cried during Ozark yet?
Okay, right out of the gate.
No, I haven't. I haven't cried during Ozark's not a cry show. It's more of a show.
Yeah.
One of those.
All right.
Are you gasping like that?
You did. We almost just lost a kind of dirty girl.
Live.
All right. So we talked about Zoe's. So Zoe made you cry for sure. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. And then outside of that, is it just Ozark?
I watched this movie on the Hallmark Channel.
Of course.
And I can't tell you what it's called.
Is it a secret?
No, it's not. It's something about dancing. It was a book.
This is very helpful, Johna.
I tweeted about it a while ago, and I tweet and retweet things so much that I can't remember what the name of it is.
I know you do.
But it's basically, I know I don't have anything to do. But so it's basically about this couple, and they got together when they were in high school, and they got married or whatever. And then, they had these 2 kids, and they lived in the same town forever. And then the movie starts out with them in high school, and they're getting engaged. And like, oh, yeah, it's so cute. And then the song "Amazed" by Lone Star is playing in the background. Yeah. I'm like, oh, man. I was like, this is getting serious. And then, as the years go on, they have these 2 kids, and now their daughter's engaged. But this whole time, while their daughter's engaged and getting married, they're trying to get a divorce.
Oh, no.
And they have to keep it a secret from everyone. But they live in this really small town, so they can't tell anybody that they're getting a divorce. And so basically the whole movie is them trying to keep their divorce a secret. But then ultimately at the end, obviously, they fall back in love with each other. And at the end, where they got engaged at, which is on the dock outside of their house, her husband played "Amazed" by Lone Star.
Oh no, he did it!
He did, and they danced, and I cried because they were like, I want us to be together. And I was like, I want you to be together too. Oh my God. I was just crying so hard. I was like, why am I crying as hard as I am? It's got Jenny Garth in it.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah. I didn't know that was her. When I looked at it, I was like, that doesn't look like Jenny
Garth. So it's on the Hallmark Channel. It's got Jenny Garth in it. It's got Lone Star song "Amazed," and it's something about dancing.
Oh, that song gets me.
Yo, and the way that they played it, because it's at the beginning they were playing it, and then somewhere in the middle they played it too, because they were practicing dancing for their daughter's wedding with their daughter or whatever. And so they were like, oh, when's the last time you guys heard this song? And she was at my wedding, and then she starts crying.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then at the end, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Hang on.
I'm looking it up too. I'm looking up Hallmark movie dancing Jenny Garth.
Time to Dance. That's what it's called.
A Time to Dance. Okay.
Time to Dance.
Oh.
It's really good. It's so just really hit me in my feels a little harder than I expected it to.
I mean, do we need to create a scale of your sobbing? Because I feel like you're always crying, but now you're saying this was extra crying.
I'm a crybaby. No, we don't need a scale. Well, I mean, we could do like between like 1 and 5 because like usually I'm at like a 2.
Okay.
You know? If I'm like at a 5, that means I'm just like inconsolable, can't stop crying.
Okay, so where were you on the on the weeping scale? Where
Probably
were you?
like a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
Blubbering,
Zoe's Extraordinary
not quite
Playlist though, that was a
crying.
35.
That was Zoe's was a 35.
35, man. That hit me hard. I was like, what is this? I can't even. Yeah. So yeah.
So if you follow us on Twitter at Kind of Nerdy Girls, you'll see that we've been having some banter, if you will, with Kevin L. Johnson.
Kevin's our best friend now.
From Ozark. So Sam Dermody from Ozark joined our show, and I actually was texting him yesterday to see if our conversation about his roommates' cats and the nicknames he has, the McChicken, if I can use that in a Pet Pals TV story that I'm doing. And so he said yes, and then he sent me pictures of his roommate's cat, so that was excellent. But Johna and I both committed, and if you just go back a couple of episodes, you can catch up on that.
KJ committed for both of us.
You know what's really funny is when I was listening to it, I heard you like mumble, like, I can't believe she just did that. And I said, Johna and I will watch Ozark, and then you can come back and we can have a conversation. I heard John in the back. It is clear in listening that you were not pleased with me watching Ozark.
Because I was going to watch it, but then you were like, we're going to watch it. And I was like, shit. Now I have to actually like watch it.
Well, we didn't tell him like a time frame we'd be done.
Yeah, well, it kind of felt like it was an immediate time frame because then you were like, I'm going to start watching it. And I was like, oh, man, now she's going to. And then I started it, and then you started it. But, like, me and you were both on episode. Like, I started episode 1, but I hadn't finished episode 1. And I was like, oh, no. You were like, I can't let Johna beat me. And I was like, oh, no. So I had to, like, leave wherever I was at so I could go and watch Ozark because I was like, no, I can't let KJ catch up.
Oh my God, do we need to put something on the line for whoever's going to finish Ozark first?
Okay, we all know it's going to be me, so.
But what if it's me?
There's no way it's going to be you. And it's not going to be me.
Take a couple days off work.
Well, I have 4-day weekends now.
Oh, that's not even fair. That's not fair. All right, so you haven't cried during Ozark.
Ozark is not a cry show.
Don't you think at some point, though, something's going to happen?
Maybe. Okay, I mean, I didn't, like, cry, but there was, like, a really okay, let me stop lying. I did cry, but it was only, like, a 1. Okay, I'm sorry. I just remembered what I watched yesterday. I think I blocked it out because it was really sad.
Okay.
Somebody dies.
Is that the old man? It's the old man. He couldn't last that long. We knew he was dying.
But like he lasts through all of season. He dies in season 2.
You know what was really weird? So that the guy that plays the old man that they're living with in Ozark,
Buddy,
he is in Buffy, which I know you haven't finished yet. But have you made it to where he's in Buffy? He's the head of the Watchers Council.
No, I'm not there yet.
He always shows up and like they have unrealistic expectations for Buffy, but he's like the stern, like kind of enforcer guy. And so I keep laughing every time I see his butt on Ozark. I'm like, this is not where I thought that the head of the Watchers Council would end up. Okay, but I mean, well, now they have the house to themselves. So that's kind of, so they got a deal. They bought the house knowing he was going to die, and he did.
Yeah. No, I mean, what episode are you on?
I don't know. I fell asleep last night. The problem with binging is I don't really pay attention to episodes and seasons. That's why all of a sudden I was shocked that I was on the last season of Schitt's Creek, because it just is all like, it's like one long movie for me. Right. It just keeps going. I can't, people who are like, oh, you remember in episode 19 and they rattle off the title of the episode. I'm like, no, it's just one big long show.
Yeah, because like I read the titles. No.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 25. No.
I don't even know what season I'm in when I'm binge watching.
Yeah.
Tell me what the episode was about. Don't tell me what the season is. Just tell me what the episode was about. Then we can talk about it.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Tom Selleck.
Johna, focus.
Tom Selleck's on the TV, and I'm not even watching the Hallmark Channel. It's like old Tom Selleck, like Tom Selleck now.
Oh, I was gonna say as opposed to Magnum PI.
Older
Tom Selleck. Still hot though. Love.
Is it Friends? Is this when
no,
he was on Friends?
He's doing an AAG commercial.
Oh.
He has on like this yellow looking jacket thing.
What's AAG? Is that like insurance or something?
It's like probably like an old person insurance.
All right. I don't think there's anything else left to cover in this world unless you guys have anything else you want to chat about.
Nope.
We'll
the
be
Rona
doing it.
took everything.
Corona took everything. But
it didn't take defending Jacob. I'm watching that.
It did not take that. All right. Well, maybe I might have to take a break from Ozark. It's hard to have a new Chris Evans stuff in the world and not watch it.
Yo, let me know if you need my login. I got you.
How many episodes is Defending Jacob?
It's supposed to be 8, but there's only 4 out now.
Okay. Ooh. I might wait then until all 8 are out.
Honestly, probably when it's over, I'm probably going to cancel my Apple TV.
That's why they're doing that. Like, they're going to keep you around for a few more months, get a few more.
I think it's 8 episodes, and the first 3 came out 2 weeks ago. Then Defending Jacob came out last week. So, I mean, it's only going to be until, May? Until like June.
Oh, okay. So then I need to borrow your subscription soon before you cancel it.
Honestly, I probably won't. I'll probably find something to watch on Apple TV.
I like this. We started with Chris Evans and we ended with Chris Evans. Full. It's the Chris Evans full circle show. Yay.
#1 fan club.
If you like what you're listening to, it helps us a lot if Katie's not yawning.
It's my nap time.
If you would say, nice things about us, you don't have to write a big long review, but if you give us, 4 or 5 stars and you say these girls are awesome,
it's all right.
It is kind of okay. Like whatever that helps us be found so that we can keep making shows. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. You can see some of our interviews on YouTube. You can see Katie yawning on YouTube.
Yep.
You can see me flip my hair on YouTube.
Yeah,
Quit playing with it.
I know I can't help it. I'm not used to it.
And even when we do interviews, so if if you heard our interview with Jane Levy from Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, if you go to our YouTube channel, you can also watch it. I just added my interview with J. August Richards and Michael O'Neill from Council of Dads. And even if you don't watch that show, we play a really fun round of Name That TV Dad. So you can see if you can beat actual TV dads at playing Name That TV Dad. John, I think you'd be okay. I didn't make it that hard.
Really?
No. Well, why don't you go watch the episode on YouTube or listen to it because it's already dropped on your podcast app.
Already dropped.
It's
okay.
Already dropped. Yes. What am I supposed to say? I don't know what to say. What a podcast is, a new episode is out. It dropped. It hit your podcast app.
It uploaded a lot.
It posted.
Like we posted a new episode.
Okay. All right.
Just watch it.
Well,
just watch it. Just go on YouTube and look us up.
Watch it. Subscribe. Join us on Facebook, Kinda Nerdy Network. We're gonna hang out in a Zoom room again without Katie. We can say bad things about Katie. If you're like, I wish Katie wasn't on this show, you can always join us for the Kinda Nerdy Night In.
Because I will join.
Because she's never there, and if she shows up, there's a waiting room that she will just sit in, and we will not let her in because you didn't want her there. You just say in the comments, I'm
say the
here.
word.
I will leave if Katie shows up, and we will not let her in because this is your community. This is your kind of nerdy network. We wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah, there, God. I love Katie.
We love Katie.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys. Hey, stay safe and stay healthy.
Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
And stay.
Make your own choices.
Most importantly, stay kind of nerdy.
And we love you.
Poo, choo, pow, pow, ping, choo, 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 woo, choo, 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 choo. This podcast was brought to you by Chris Evans. Choo, 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 pow.
One day it will be.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.